Hey, it's Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is January 13th, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. Now, I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching my video today. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, you'll find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I have a subscriber group on there as well. You're welcome to join that. It gives you a ton of information, and I think that you guys would enjoy it. But let's not talk about that too much. Let's talk about these charts. SPY. We got SPY here, beautiful base. We have a little of a you know, volatility in this area right here. And nothing is saying that it's going to continue. We do have a very significant higher low of this 466-ish area. And so that's an area that I'm watching. I wouldn't be shocked if we come down into this 50-day moving average. A lot of volume coming in on the downside. So again, until we see this start to reverse, I'm kind of cautious on the markets. By the way, I'm using Deep View. If you're interested in Deep View, go to deepview.com. On the weekly, did show a positive 1.86% on the SPY. Now let's compare that with the RSP. Here's the RSP, and you see RSP was only 0.22. So that tells us that the mega caps are holding up the market currently, right? Doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, but the mega caps are holding up the market. We're seeing a retest of this breakout level, this 155-ish level. That's a really, really important level, I think, in the market. So if that breaks down, I think we're in a little bit more of trouble, for lack of a better term. But right now, that is not breaking down. So that's where we're at. Looking at the Qs, again, very similar to SPY. Just wide and loose type pattern. Again, not one that I like to trade. On the week, they were up 3.22% on the week. Beautiful up week, right? With a slightly heavier volume too. Again, this was a holiday shortened week though. But looking at the equal weight, 3.22, and they were up 2.13. So again, not quite as good, but not as bad as you would think. It wasn't terrible. So that's kind of nice to see, right? Again, we have this very important $80 or so, $79, $80 area that is really, really important in the equal weighted Qs. And again, could we come back down here and retest it? Absolutely. That would be within the character of this market. We haven't quite done that yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. All right, so let's look at mid caps here. Mid caps tried to break out above this 500-ish or so area and just got slammed right back down. And now it's kind of moving sideways. It did look bear flaggy, and now it's just kind of too long for a bear flag for me. Not that it can't break down here, but again, I think maybe a date with the 50-day moving average might be in store. On the weekly time frame, it was up 0.57, so definitely an underperformer for the week. And looking at the small caps, they were basically flat on the week. All right, so small caps flat on the week. So you can see, going through all those charts, on the weekly performance, they were the big losers. Didn't move at all. And then going to the daily part of it, you see this wide loose pattern, and it's near the bottom of it. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if we see one more leg down into this 50-day moving average. That would make sense to me. Looking at the index, the sectors, XLF, starting to get a little loosey-goosey in here. We started earnings season, the big banks, and started first, and now we're going to some regionals. Starting to get maybe back to this, maybe a retest of the breakout. As long as we're above 37, though, I think everything is relatively okay. SMH, again, loose in here, but this pullback was on very, very small volume, which is nice to see. If we retest this 165-ish area one more time, right to the 50-day, that would be, totally within character, and everything would be absolutely still okay in the market. Again, this is a hard, choppy mess. But if we can create a nice base here, that would be something I could, get behind. Looking at the equal weighted semis, very different look, right? Equal weighted semis are back under this very important area, underneath all these moving averages, living underneath them. And here comes that 50-day, and there's the 200-day right there. Wouldn't be shocked if we see a retest of this 202 area, 205 to 202 to 205, somewhere in there. That would be an interesting spot if it retested, right? Again, it has a bear flaggy look to it. And it looks like it wants, maybe one more leg down. We'll see. Let's look at XHB housing. It broke down from here, rebounded some, and just kind of rolled over before making a new high. So we got that going on. ITB, basically same thing. Tried to make that new high, couldn't. We'll continue to watch this. If this can, base out from here and stay above this 23-day, this 100-ish level becomes kind of important, I guess, as we go forward, 99 to 100, and then we'll see what can happen there. But, again, it's not bearish. It's just choppy, messy. That's the best way to put it, choppy and messy. Let's look at transports. Here's the equal weighted. So this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. You have down, you have this kind of bearish flag look, and then you have the next leg down. Again, I would think that maybe $77, $78 is what I'm looking to potentially hold. And 85, let me just see this here, to 80, roughly 5 points, 82 to 77. That's the measured move. So that would make sense. And transports now, equal weight transports, I would say are leading, right? They're leading the market potentially if we see the breakdown in others, right? This hasn't broken down yet. That's the scenario that I think is potentially likely in the market. Again, not bearish, just one more little shakeout to go potentially, right? So let's go into the internals, looking at the VIX. VIX still very, very low, no real danger signs showing up there. Looking at the credit spreads, again, still relatively low, no real danger signs there. Looking at percent stocks above the 50-day moving average, we're starting to see it come off the highs. That's really nice to see. Probably have some more move to the downside to go. Looking at the put call ratio, we had this past week a pretty extreme reading as far as bearishness goes. Came right back in, but I am taking note of this. So it makes me think they were maybe closer to the bottom, not at the bottom, closer to the bottom of this correction. Maybe another week or two, OPEX this week. A lot of other, earnings season going on. So maybe closer to the bottom than the start of this move lower. Looking at the dollar index, it bounced right where we thought it could bounce, right here, bounced here in the past. Whoopsies, bounce here again, and then maybe moves up to this 104-ish area. And that again would coincide with a move maybe to the 50-day moving average, and everything would kind of work out nice. Looking at the 10-year, it looks like it wants lower, right? To me, this looks like it wants lower. It kind of held right there, that 4.1 area. And then, so listen, we could easily go to, 3.25 very quickly, potentially. And that'll be good for the market. So maybe it comes up here and chops around, but then if it does turn over again, that'd be a positive for the market and, be helpful. Under the surface, there are signs of just some weakening as far as momentum and new highs, new lows, and things of that nature. Again, we saw it in percent stocks above the 50-day. So, I think just, hold on tight, be careful out there. We're still in a very, very choppy environment, right? I don't think the all clear is done yet. A lot of distribution over here on the charts. Maybe we come to 50, maybe we don't. but I think that there may be one more move lower. Again, it doesn't have to be like this exaggerated, crazy sell-off, but I think that I just don't think we're at the bottom yet. So good luck this week. Hope y'all are doing well out there and keeping your accounts intact. If you'd like to join the subscriber group, we go do all this and much more in depth all week long, and really keep everybody on the right side of the market. So check it out at AlphaCharts365 on Twitter or X. All right. Good luck this week. Bye-bye.